this video today, we're going to put together the rustic banner, and we're also going to put a little shelf sitter together. Stay tuned. This is going to be a good one. I printed on 120-pound cardstock. That is the best way to use one of these banners. 60-pound, you'll find it will fold. So 120-pound cardstock is the way to go. Once you cut that all out, I went ahead and I added a little bit of ink just around the edges, just to make sure that you don't see any white. So we're going to punch holes, 2 holes on each of the banners. You do not need to use one of these. You can use a regular hole punch. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to set this, and I'm going to put it right there. Punch the hole. In fact, what you can do with, if you have one of these, I can do all of these all at once. And then that way you'll have an exact measurement. So the holes will be evenly spaced. So let's try that. Go here, give it a punch. Like that. Give it a punch. There we go. So we've got our holes. And now you can use anything you want. I'm going to use twine because I want this rustic look. You could also use fabric if you'd like, anything, lace fabric, ribbon, whatever you like. All right, so I am going to, I want to feed this through that I do not see this on the outside. So I'm going to come in at the top, the back, come up, just like that. Don't worry about spacing at the moment. So again, forward. Actually, you know what? I'm going to add, I find this does fray a little, so I'm just going to add a little bit of glue here. There and up. I'm gonna put this pumpkin in the middle. You can make this as big as you want. So if you wanted a really long banner, you can just print out extra sheets. I always want to go the other way. I don't know why, but I always do. There. And the last one. And I always do it. There. Okay. So as you'll see, I still have it tied into, I haven't cut any length out yet. But I want to give as much space as possible. This stuff is pretty cheap, this twine, so just really make it nice and long. Okay. So once I've got that size, I am just going to fold this over and then tie it so I make a loop. So when I go to hang it, I have a little loop to hang on, okay? So now this is where you get to decide how much space you want in between. Now I want to put, so let's start with the first 2. I'll not worry about the others at the moment. I like my banners to be fairly close. I don't want them too far over. Now, I do want to add some fabric to the middle. So what I did was I cut up, this was actually a pillowcase that I got from the thrift store. So I went to the thrift store looking for something that would go with this, the color, because I didn't want to spend a lot of money on ribbon when it's a plain, right? So this is a little more of inexpensive way to add. And all I did was I got it, I washed it, and then I just cut it up and ripped it into strips. What you're going to do, now there are many ways you can do this. This is how I like to do it. So I'm going to loop it underneath and get my finger in here, and then I'm just going to loop it just like you would be doing a tie, if you're doing a tag. Now, when I do that, so I always do that backwards. So let's try that again, because I want the knot on the front. So rather than come under, we're going to go over, bring this up and through. Just like so. Don't get caught up too much about it. It doesn't have to be perfect, but you see how it's laying down and you've got the knot on the front. Sometimes I will add more to this. Sometimes I'll add, if I'm going to do more than one, I would do 3, and I would do 3 different ones personally. But again, you could pick up the oranges in here. There's some beautiful teal here. So really add your own style to this. So I think what I'm going to do is I am going to add maybe some of this. This is some fabric. No, it's not fabric. This is some ribbon that I got from Michael's. I'm going to do the exact same thing. I'm going to go, I want to naturally do that. So I'm going to go over the top. Bring this under. Scoop that in. And there we go. Okay. And don't worry about this. We can trim this after. So don't worry about exactly the length. You're going to really do what you feel like you want to do. So I'm going to add one more here. Okay, so it looks like a little tie. Just like that. Okay, so when I go to hang it, we've got all this in here. So I like that. Again, don't worry about the length. We're going to cut this up after. This is a little long. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to do the rest. So once you see it up on the wall, you really get a good view of what this looks like. But now you can have a beautiful banner for the fall. So for the shelf sitter, I have this 4x4 piece of wood. I actually got this from Michael's. If you have somebody handy that can cut you up the wood, that's even better. But it is thick enough that it's going to stand, it's a 1/2 inch thick. So it's going to stand up on its own, or it's going to stand up on its own. So it's going to make a really great shelf sitter. And I'm going to be using the 6x6 cutout, the 6x6 page from Rustic Banner. I'm going to go ahead and cut this out. Now you want to print this on 32 pound bright white. 32 pound bright white is the standard that I print everything on, unless it's cardstock. You want to make sure it's nice and bright and white. It might say brilliant white, it might say bright white, but 32 pound is just a little heavier, and it's not see-through like a 28 pound paper would be. Okay. Now this goes together super easy. What you're going to do is you take your square. We have that there. I'm going to use my secret weapon, which is my glue stick. I do not use, oh, I leave that off. Let's see if I got this one. Oh, that's my good one. Okay. I do not use liquid decoupage medium. When you use liquid in paper, it bubbles, it wrinkles, it rips, and it can even smear. I use an inkjet. I do not use a laser. So this is easy. You don't have to iron it. You don't have to wait for it to dry. It is so much easier. And I'm going to get it in just about there. I like to fold my edges because we're going to use some sandpaper. This would look nice on the mantle or in the tier tray. Okay. Like that. It goes on like butter. Like butter. All right, let's find a piece of sandpaper. I've got a very used piece of sandpaper. I'm going to go ahead and remove this. So once you've sanded that off, now we're going to go ahead and add some ink to the edges. So you're going to have, once you've done the sandpaper, you're going to expose some of the white paper. So we're just going to cover that with some ink. Now what you can do, you can paint this, but I think what's really going to look nice with this design is just to take my ink and I want to go for that stained look. It's all about ease. I don't have to get a gel stain out. I don't have to get paint out. Look how fast this is happening. And now we've got a beautiful stained look. So now it's got a stained edge. All right. So you could leave it just like that. If you're more of a minimalist, you could put this in your vignette, or you can add some ribbon. And I think we will add, I think I will. Let's see. I do have a little piece because we're going to put it together with our banner. So let's see if we can get a piece. I'm just going to trim it down. You could even add fabric to the edges. That would look really cool as well. So feel free to just get creative with it and add your own style, because that would look cool as well. Right in the corner. Very simple, very easy, and now let's see what it looks like all together.